The so-called hybrid motor recently underwent a successful test by the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. But what does this imply for space travel and discovery? In what ways does it enhance the spacecraft? Knowing all the new technical innovations that businesses have developed is interesting. Keep watching if you don't want to miss on learning more about all of this in today's video. The ISRO BSSC director recently explained the significance of the most recent hybrid rocket motor test. The ISRO developed conventional motors use solid fuel and solid oxidizers or liquid fuel and liquid oxidizers to power them. This chemical combination burns when the two substances are combined in a comparable condition, either solid or liquid. The most recent hybrid motor, however, uses liquid oxygen, LOX, as an oxidant and solid fuel hydroxyl-terminated polybutadiene, HTPB, as a fuel. The flight equivalent 30 kN hybrid motor test, according to ISRO, showed ignition and sustained combustion for the desired 15 seconds. The Indian Space Agency also stated that the motor performance was satisfactory. Dr. S. Unnikrishnan Nair, director of the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, underlined the benefits of the hybrid motor and its potential uses in an interview with WION, the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, which is a part of the Department of Space, DOS, is led by the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, VSSC. Dr. Vikram A. Sarabhai, a remarkable visionary and the pioneer of the Indian space program, is honored by having the center bear his name. The rocket research and launch vehicle initiatives of ISRO were pioneered by VSSC. Moving on to more recent news. A source reports that India's Mangalyaan spacecraft has run out of fuel and has depleted its battery. The Mars Orbiter mission, MOM, India's first mission to Mars, is said to have run out of fuel, making it difficult to refuel in the red planet's orbit. Mangalyaan, the mission, has now arrived at its goal. Inferences are being drawn from this report that MOMs have reached their destination. The Space Department has not yet acknowledged that it is run by SIRO. 2013 saw the launch of India's first interplanetary mission, Mangalyaan, on board PSLV C-25, making ISRO the fourth space agency to do so. With a cost of just $74 million, it was one of the most affordable extraterrestrial missions ever made. No fuel is left in Mangalyaan, a source told PTI, adding that recently there were back-to-back eclipses, one of which lasted 7.5 hours, and as the satellite battery is designed to handle an eclipse duration of only about 1 hour and 40 minutes. A longer eclipse would drain the battery beyond the safe limit. As the satellite battery is designed to handle eclipse duration of only about 1 hour and 40 minutes, a longer eclipse would drain the battery beyond the safe limit, another official added. The Mars Orbiter craft has done its job and produced important scientific findings, according to ISRO officials, who observed that it has operated for nearly 8 years, far beyond the 6 months that were intended for it to last on the mission. According to India Today, MOM was built with 5 instruments to study the morphology, minerals, and atmosphere of the red planet. The spacecraft was used as evidence to demonstrate India's capacity to plan, launch, and oversee an interplanetary mission. MOM is attributed with numerous laurels like cost effectiveness, a quick time to realization, cheap mass budget, and miniaturization of 5 heterogeneous science payloads, according to ISRO officials. Without a formal announcement from ISRO, Mangalyaan 2 will launch following Chandrayaan-3, India's upcoming mission, according to the previous Director General in 2021, K. Sivan. The planning for the second Mars expedition is currently ongoing. Now, let's take a look back at what the Mangalyaan has achieved in its almost 9-year run. India's first Mars mission, Mangalyaan, added India to the group of nations that completed a mission to the red planet on their first try. Here is a look at the mission's journey from Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh all the way to Mars, as it has now come to an end. So what were Mangalyaan's mission and objectives? On November 5, 2013, Mangalyaan launched ISRO's reliable PSLV C-25 rocket from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. The Mars Orbiter mission, MOM, as it's officially known, was a technology demonstration that was aimed at making a spacecraft that can function independently enough to travel to another planet. One of the goals was orbit insertion and its proper operation near Mars. Because the PSLV rocket's thrust was insufficient to launch the orbiter directly into Mars, it should be noted that the mission teams used the propulsion system of the spacecraft to boost its orbit before launching it toward the red planet. The orbiter, which weighed 488 kilograms, carried 5 15-kilogram scientific packages for mapping and researching the atmosphere of Mars. 5 of MOM's instruments are listed below: MCC MCC, which is short for Mars Color Camera, was tasked with taking pictures and gathering data on Mars's surface features and chemical composition. TIS, or the Thermal Infrared Imaging Spectrometer, was created to map the mineralogy and surface composition of Mars. MSN, or Methane Sensor for Mars. As its name implies, it was created to measure methane, CH4, in the Martian atmosphere and determine where it comes from. MENCA, MENCA, which stands for Mars Exospheric Neutral Composition Analyzer, was used to analyze the upper atmosphere of the planet. And LAP, short for Lyman Alpha Photometer, was created to measure the relative abundance of deuterium and hydrogen to provide further details on how Mars's water was lost. Through its run, the Mongolian has provided imagery of Mars that has never been seen before. On September 24, 2014, Mongolian was placed into Martian orbit about a year after its launch. The orbiter has been operational for 8 years, despite being only intended to last 6 months. It was placed in a highly elliptical orbit around Mars, which took it up to 420 kilometers from the surface at its closest, and over 80,000 kilometers away at its furthest point. Because of this orbit, MOM was able to capture expansive pictures of Mars. The spacecraft has sent more than 1,100 photographs of Mars throughout its existence using the MCC, which captures accurate color images and provides a perspective similar to what our unaided eyes would see. Some of the most breathtaking sights may be seen in the photographs it sent, which allowed ISRO to advance science by making new discoveries. The orbiter's view of Mars is shown in the image below, which makes it easy to distinguish between the many terrains on the planet. As was already established, the spacecraft's extremely elliptical orbit enabled it to take pictures from a wide angle, and this vantage position allowed it to see the water ice caps on the poles in the photograph it sent. The greatest volcano in our solar system, Olympus Mons, is likewise depicted in the MCC images and is plainly visible from above. Olympus Mons is 600 kilometers wide, about 3 times as wide as Mount Everest. It's interesting to note that this image also emphasizes any lava flows that may have happened during previous eruptions. All of these pictures are fascinating, but the one above is the most fascinating of them all, since it shows Phobos, one of the 2 Martian moons, with a thin layer of the planet's atmosphere in the backdrop. So what did Mongolian achieve in its 8-year run? According to ISRO, the MENCA sensor discovered suprathermal argon, which is more energetic than thermal argon, in the Martian exosphere when the orbiter was at perihelion, the point closest to Mars. Additionally, MENCA's measurements demonstrated for the first time that during the twilight hours at perihelion, the quantity of oxygen exceeds that of carbon dioxide at an altitude of about 270 kilometers. In 2020, during a major dust storm, the orbiter also carried out an improved escape from the Martian atmosphere, according to the agency. However, it is important to note that ISRO's success in planetary exploration started even before Mongolian was launched, because the spacecraft was created on a shoestring budget of Rs-450 crore, which was less than what was required to produce science fiction films like Gravity and The Martian. So is there a follow-up mission after Mongolian? Plans for a subsequent Mongolian expedition to the Red Planet, however, have not yet been finalized, with the upcoming Gaganyaan, Chandrayaan-3, and Odisha L1 projects being on the space agency's current priority list. ISRO released an announcement of opportunity, AO, for the future Mars Orbiter mission, MOM-2, in 2016. However, officials admitted that it's still in its planning stages. Proposals are requested from interested Indian scientists for experiments on board an orbiter mission around Mars, MOM-2, to address pertinent scientific problems and topics. According to the AO, not in the approved list as of now, a senior ISRO official told PTI. When asked about an update on the MOM-2, it is now planned to have the next orbiter mission around Mars for a future launch opportunity. The official further stated that they needed to consult with the research community broadly before developing project proposals and payloads. It's still on the drawing board, but needs some more details and international collaboration for finalizing the mission, the official said. And that's everything you need to know so far about the latest on the ISRO. What space exploration mission are you excited about? Let us know in the comment section below. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. See you next time, and thanks for watching.